Top 6 Outstanding Political Events of 2024. 2024 is a turbulent year with world politics. A series of shocking events have shaken the world. Let's take all things to the top 6 outstanding political events in 2024. U.S. presidential election and Donald Trump's return. 2024 is the year that marks Trump's return. After facing a series of criminal lawsuits, Trump once again became the Republican presidential candidate and won the November election. Democrats were at an early disadvantage when President Joe Biden, affected by age, was embarrassed in his debates with Trump. Biden then resigned and Vice President Kamala Harris entered the race, but the change could not save the fate of the Democrats. On his way back to the White House, Trump escaped death in an assassination attempt when he campaigned in Pennsylvania on July 13th. The bullet hit the ear. Trump escaped death in an inch. With this victory, Trump once again affirmed his position in American politics and promised to bring about major changes. At home, he pledged to revive the America First policy that focuses on preventing immigration, creating jobs and boosting the economy, although this could increase divisions in American society. Trump's return to power is expected to change the global balance of power. The president-elect promises to promote peace in the Middle East, especially the rapid resolution of the conflict in Gaza and the restoration of peace agreements, such as the Abraham Agreement. In Ukraine, Trump said he could end the conflict within 24 hours through negotiations, though the statement raised doubts. At the same time, Trump is expected to continue his tough policy with China, possibly restarting the trade war. This could destabilize the global economy. U.S. relations with Europe also face challenges, as Trump has threatened to withdraw the United States from NATO if its allies do not increase defense spending. This could raise concerns about unity in the alliance and the U.S. position in transatlantic relations. Trump's return is said to not only shape U.S. domestic politics, but also greatly influence the international political order, creating both opportunities and risks in the coming years. Milestone of 1,000 days of Russian-Ukrainian conflict. The conflict in Ukraine has entering the third year since it broke out in February 2022. The situation in Ukraine became the focus of attention again in November 2024 when U.S. President Joe Biden approved Ukraine to use long-range missiles supplied by the United States to strike deep into Russian territory. This move is believed to be the Biden administration's last attempt to support Ukraine before Trump, who was not interested in supplying Ukraine with weapons, took office in January 2025. Peace talks have been talked about this year, but there is no clear sign of Ukraine entering the winter with its energy infrastructure severely devastated. The situation worsened as Russia increased its attack. On December 17th, Russian General Igor Kirillov's assassination escalated tensions. Israel tense confrontation with Iran and axis of resistance. 2020 foresaw a sharp escalation in the conflict between Israel and its main rivals in the Middle East, including Iran and axis resistance members such as Hamas, Hezbollah, or the Houthi. Based on information from international media, Israel has launched large-scale military operations in Gaza and Lebanon, while facing missile launches from Iran, marking one of the most tense periods in the region. According to reports from Al Jazeera and Reuters, Israel has continued airstrikes in Gaza, eliminating many Hamas fighters and destroying critical infrastructure such as arsenals and command points. The human rights group in Gaza said the attacks have caused large numbers of civilians' casualties and created a serious humanitarian crisis. Meanwhile, according to the BBC, in Lebanon, Israel expanded its military campaign against Hezbollah, the Iranian-backed armed forces. A shocking event was the explosion of communication devices such as Hezbollah's pagers and radios. This tactic, which was first used, caused major disturbances in Hezbollah's information network. According to the Times of Israel, Hezbollah and Hamas received major losses when Hezbollah leader Said Hassan Nasrallah was killed in September 2024. and Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar was assassinated more than 2 weeks later. These are the blow of Israel to the leadership of both Hezbollah and Hamas. CNN reports that Iran has carried out 2 missile launches, UAVs from its territory, targeting targets in southern Israel April 2024 and October 2024. These actions are seen as a response to Israeli military activity in the region and are Tehran's response to recent assassinations against Hamas leader Hezbollah and an Iranian Revolutionary Guard general. This is also how Tehran asserted its role in the alliance with the Axis of Resistance. Israel, soon after, responded strongly through airstrikes on Iranian military installations in Syria and carried out cyber attacks, disrupting technical infrastructure in Tehran. The Wall Street Journal quoted regional experts as saying that these actions continue to push the situation in the Middle East to the boom threshold. The Houthi, which controls much of Yemen, also opened a front against Israel in November 2023. According to Reuters and Al Jazeera, the Houthis claim to have launched multiple long-range missiles and used UAVs to attack targets in Israel, including military installations near Tel Aviv. Israel, already accustomed to threats from Hamas and Hezbollah, has had to adjust its strategy to deal with the new threat from Yemen. Israeli airstrikes have been extended to Houthi-controlled military facilities in northern Yemen. At the moment, according to a report by the United Nations and humanitarian organizations, the humanitarian crisis in Gaza and Lebanon is getting worse, with millions of people displaced from their homes and facing shortages of food and clean water. Despite heavy losses, armed groups such as Hamas and Hezbollah maintained local power, carrying out small attacks on Israeli forces. Iran continues to support its allies in the region, affirming its central role in the conflict with Israel. Syrian coup, Bashar al-Assad's government overthrown. After 54 years of Syrian leadership, on December 8, 2024, the al-Assad regime collapsed in just 1 week, ending 14 years of civil war and 5 years of deadlock. Opposition forces led by Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, HTS, captured the city of Aleppo in late November, then quickly took control of Hama, Homs, and entered Damascus. Russia and Iran, Assad's traditional allies, do not support much because they have their own problems. The forces of the demoralized Assad regime surrendered, while Assad evacuated to Moscow. HTS is in power, but Syria still faces major uncertainty. South Korea's shocking martial law case. South Korea experienced a dramatic event from December 3rd to December 4th when President Yoon Suk-yeol unexpectedly declared martial law, accusing the opposition party of having links to North Korea and carrying out anti-state activities. The martial law lasted only 6 hours before the South Korean parliament unanimously opposed and abolished martial law. Although martial law exists only for a short time, it leaves a huge impact. Then President Yoon's power and duties were suspended when the South Korean parliament voted to approve Yoon's impeachment proposal. Prime Minister Han Duck-soo temporarily assumed the presidency. The impeachment proposal accused Yoon of betraying peace by organizing a series of riots. Former Defense Minister Kim Jong-hyun, who was accused of playing a key role in a failed attempt to impose martial law, tried to commit suicide in detention, but failed. Mr. Yoon's fate and those involved will be unraveled in the new year. A year of elections and government collapses. 2024 is the year of elections. In Britain, the Labour Party led by Keir Starmer defeated the ruling Conservatives led by Prime Minister Rishi Sunak in an overwhelming victory in July, ending 14 years of Conservative rule. In France, the government collapsed on December 4th after Prime Minister Michel Barnier failed a vote of no confidence in Parliament due to a budget dispute. Barnier became the shortest-serving Prime Minister in France's modern republic, 91 days, and President Emmanuel Macron appointed François Bayrou as his successor. Germany also witnessed a change when Prime Minister Olaf Scholz's government lost power after a vote of no confidence, and the early election was scheduled for February 23, 2025.